Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on in, Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. We are at our favorite spot, the James Kitchen and Bar. You can see Albertson Stadium right behind us. Perfect day to come hang out at the James. They open up at 11 a.m. They got the full menu, the full bar, and great spot for happy hour as well, 3 to 5. And perfectly blue sky, great day. And they will not be open pregame. They open at 10 o'clock on game day Saturday, but they'll be the perfect spot to come hang out after the game, hopefully to celebrate a Boise State victory. The Broncos 0-2 heading into Saturday's 10 a.m. game against North Dakota. And Jordan Kaye, our writer here at BNN, joins me for his Wednesday appearance. And interesting times, man, in Bronco Nation. 0-2 and trying to get back on track against North Dakota.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of weird points in the season where it seems like I could understand a fan being just absolutely livid and kind of throwing their hands up and saying, well, I don't know, this season doesn't look good. And then I can understand the optimism too of like, hey, Boise State played two of the best teams it's going to play all year. They finally get a little bit of a break, kind of, with a FCS team. Then they've got San Diego State and the goal of winning a Mountain West championship in a Mountain West conference that, aside from one or two teams, is not very good. That's still attainable. And so we're going to learn a lot more about the litmus test this week to see, hey, you know, what direction is this Boise State season going in?
I get a sense from some fans, though, that just winning on Saturday is not enough. They want to win this thing by 30-plus points.
Well, I think it almost goes back to the same thing last year when Boise State was 1-1. They had a loss to Oregon State, a win over New Mexico, and that third game of the season was against UT Martin.
Yep.
That was the game that Hank got booed when he left the field.
Yeah.
That kind of caused an uproar, but that was one of those things where Boise State won, and everyone's looking around and saying, nothing has been fixed. And that was kind of the beginning of the end a little bit that culminated with the UTEP loss the next week. So, yeah, it's a win. A win on Saturday is not good enough. It has to be a win where they don't need to win 85-3, but you have to show, hey, we have corrected our mistakes. We're not getting beat downfield every other play. Taylon Green can make the deep ball throws. We will actually throw the deep ball.
Yeah.
Hey, Taylon Green can run. No questions about Ashton Genty. No question about the offensive line. Hey, why doesn't the defensive line? Hey, can they step up? Can they have a sack? Can they rush the passer? Can they get him out of sorts a little bit? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and you're right. A win is not going to do it.
Well, one of the questions is Derek Morales wants your scouting report on Prince Strawn. Can't be teasing us with one single video right now. I know you had a little fun with that yesterday, but that is one of the many mysteries right now. Where is Prince Strawn?
He did not look good today. So, yeah, maybe I should have, thought about that a little. My point is that he is one of your best athletes. He is one of your best wide receivers. And the fact that during an 0-2 stretch in which the receivers can't cause separation, the receivers are not catching the ball very well, that you're not even going to try him. And I get he probably, based upon him not playing, probably doesn't have the playbook down. My guess is that, he during practice at some points, they're calling out something, he's doing something else. But he doesn't need a playbook to run a go route. He doesn't need a playbook to run a slant. He doesn't need a playbook to run a back shoulder fade. And I think we're at the point now with Boise State where it's time to try some different things to see what works.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a big thing. My other thing too is, I think part of that could be on the coach. We've seen miscommunication from every receiver, not just Prince Strawn. And so is there something there with the coaching staff? Is this playbook, is this scheme too complicated for these guys right now? And maybe that's something they can do this week is, kind of toning it down a little bit to make sure that, hey, maybe we cut down the playbook to make sure everyone understands what they're doing.
Let us know your thoughts, comments, questions, whatever in the ICCU YouTube chat. If you're like Allison Sessions watching on Facebook, we would prefer you switch over to YouTube. That's the easiest way. And make sure you hit that subscribe button in the bottom corner of the screen. We surpassed 3,200 today for YouTube following. I think we need 4,000 for Jordan Kaye to get his next bonus. So 799 more YouTube subscribers, and I got to write another check to Jordan Kaye. So keep that coming. Folks here want to see 50 burger. Nate says, I want to see a 50 burger.
Got it. Yeah.
Vlad says, got to be 50 plus. Hold them to less than 10. This is a turning point. Now, I don't totally agree with this, but I don't totally disagree with this either. I've been more on this side. I've always been more of the one to take a little more positive approach to this. And if you say going into the season, I think Boise State was favored right against UCF before the loss in the early look-ahead line. But just going into each of the 2 weeks, Boise State was the underdog in each of the 2 games. So if you are looking at it half glass full, you would say, hey, they lost 2 games they were quote-unquote theoretically supposed to lose. Now the schedule turns to when you're going to have a lot of winnable games. But I think, Jordan, it was the way they've lost some of these games. And the defense giving up 500-plus yards and all the talk against Washington about how – from the Washington game about how bad the secondary was. And then the very first play of the game against UCF, it's a 50-yard bomb down the middle of the field.
And North Dakota is going to do the same thing. I guarantee on the first drive they're taking a shot, maybe 2.
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
you might as well until it doesn't work.
Dana Strong says they were supposed to go 0-2 by home. These are expectations now. Lose at home to an unranked good team.
Well, by Vegas.
The Vegas odds, Boise State was, I think, 3.5-point underdog going into the game. Let's see. Jordan Kaye, a.k.a. Maverick.
Ooh, love it.
Let's see here. I'll take a 1-point win Saturday and be thrilled. Anything at this point, a win would be awesome. Free Prince. Just win, baby, right? I mean, I know.
No.
Style points. But they're not playing a terrible FCS team either.
They're not, but I think these are the games, if you're a team like Boise State that's struggling, where there needs to be some level of confidence coming out of this game. And are you really going to have confidence that everything's okay if it's a 1-point win? And I don't mean confidence for fans. I mean confidence for the players. I think there needs to be a substantial victory for the players to kind of look around and say, okay, this thing's working. Our coaches know exactly what they're doing. Our scheme works. We just have to execute it. You go out there with a 1-point win, I could see players looking around what the heck? This is are we sure this is going to work against, Fresno State? Are we sure this is going to work against Wyoming?
Yeah.
So there needs to be that belief. And you're right. Sometimes belief comes only after a 50 burger.
And I do remember you brought up that UT Martin game. I remember a lot of fans after that game, even though they won, not being super thrilled. We were right here at the James doing our post game. And I remember they're 2-1. And they'll have a better record even if then they win this game on Saturday. They were 2-1 and a 2-game winning streak. And like you said, it just didn't feel like it was a great performance.
Yeah.
So I do wonder how much of that will be the case on Saturday.
And that's the thing is the coaches after that game were, we got everything figured out. We're good. Hey, we told you that Oregon State game is behind us. And then it's, fans kind of rolled their eyes no. And the next week it kind of came to fruition. So yeah, it's one of those things. They don't have to pass the eye test for the fans. They have to pass it for themselves.
No doubt. Hey, keep the comments in, keep the questions in. We got 20 minutes left to talk whatever you want in terms of Boise State football. Heck, Boise State basketball. We'll talk whatever you want to talk about. We got 20 minutes here. Let us know. We are at the James Kitchen and Bar. As I said, you can see the stadium right behind us. This will be the post-game spot on Saturday. We'll be here after the game, hanging out, doing the post-game show. And if you're looking for a spot to hang out, let the traffic die down after the game, come see us here at the James Kitchen and Bar. We are sponsored, of course, by Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company with over 10 projects in the Treasure Valley and 3.9 million planned square feet of construction since the company's inception in 2018. BVA has already made an incredible impact on Idaho's commercial real estate market. So we'll tell you more about BVA as we go along. We're actually scheduling our first live broadcast, Jordan, at Topgolf coming up in early October. I think October 5th. We're going to lock in the date there, so looking forward to that. Taco Bell as well, TacoBellWorks.com. SON Management, the Nicolason family, just a few blocks up the road here from the James is the Broadway location for Taco Bell. So if you're looking for some breakfast on the way to the game on Saturday, make sure you check out Taco Bell. They've committed over $300,000 to student scholarships, student athlete scholarships at Boise State for the men's and women's basketball team. So support Taco Bell. Get more information, TacoBellWorks.com, and we'll be telling you more about Taco Bell here moving forward. Our title sponsor is RoePaint.com. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. The best, if you're looking for a concrete coating, and they can do the interior, exterior painting of your home. They can touch up your siding, but they're really pushing the concrete coatings right now. So all your painting needs, make sure you check out RoePaint.com. You will not be disappointed. They did Coach Rice's garage. They can do your garage as well, back patio. So check them out, ROEPaint.com. And we'll be telling you more about RoePaint.com as we move along here. But let's see. We got comments rolling in. Pleasantly surprised on the ticket count. They did announce over 32,000 tickets already out for this game. I got an email yesterday. They're now doing a $25 sale as well, back to school. So something through the school districts or something. There's a $25 ticket offer as well. So if you're looking to go to this game, they've got some for $25. And Jordan, I got the video here that I'll play from the crowd environment from the game the other night, man. This is right after the touchdown.
Yeah, it was
that place was bumping, man.
It was hyped up, and I love the LED lights. I thought they were really cool. I think they're going to be even cooler when it's actually dark out by the time the third quarter starts, and you've got friends in low places playing as the lights strobe along with Garth Brooks. So, yeah, I was really impressed. See the light. I think that's so cool. Imagine touchdown celebrations, too. That's going to be awesome.
This was at a not packed house, or not all the way. There was some of the students at that point.
Were like, yeah, we're getting to 8th Street a little early.
And it wasn't even all the way dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think about what this could be like at a game a little later in the season. It was cool. It was the first chance we really got. And I think that's going to add a ton to the game day atmosphere. Again, won't see any of that on Saturday with a 10 a.m. game.
Yeah.
But we have an avid listener, Johnny Ballgame, Jordan Kaye.
Thank you,
cool,
Mr.
man.
Game.
Yeah, you better watch out. I may just, since he's on salary, Johnny, I'll just make him do Mondays and save some money on you. We'll have to wait and see. But let's see. Dubar looked great.
He did.
In the few carries he had Saturday. Your thoughts on Breezy Dubar?
I was a little surprised to see him play that early. I think some of the talk coming out of camp wasn't like hyping him up very much. And with injuries and stuff, I think you look at him now, hey, he's not redshirting. This guy can play right away. And some of the runs he had, you've got to kind of look around if you're a Boise State fan and say, we're going to have a pretty dang good running back for at least like the next 4 or 5 years. It's going to be the perfect transition from George Halani to Ashton Genty to Breezy Dubar. And wow, the running back room, as it always really is at Boise State, is loaded once again.
And the thing I keep thinking about is, I guess you have to worry about NIL and transfer portal and all that, but you got Ashton Genty for another year.
Yeah,
he cannot go to the NFL until after 2024.
It's kind of crazy.
So, you think about the year he could have this year, he's going to be back again next year, assuming he doesn't transfer.
Yeah.
I was listening to the post-game show with Johnny and Prater, and there were 3 or 4 calls from people saying they're already worried about that kind of stuff. If they keep losing and their team's not happy, you have to worry about these guys transferring. I wouldn't worry about that quite yet, but
but
it's certainly something nowadays in college football. If all of a sudden Texas or somebody else needs a running back, and all of a sudden they're going to throw a big amount of money at him, you never know. I know fans don't want to think about that, and I wouldn't say that's probably going to happen, but it is a scenario out there now that's he was flying on that jet sweep. He did get some nice yards there. back to Albertson Stadium, the ultimate home field advantage when it's rocking. And it does sound like, though, as my original point, we got off track there, it sounds like they're going to surprisingly have a decent crowd on Saturday.
No, that's going to be awesome. I mean, what was the 10 a.m. game against, was it Utah State last year, which was kind of the double whammy of 10 a.m. and
Black Friday.
Yep. And it was kind of a lighter crowd, which wasn't surprising at all. So yeah, if they can, get, 32, 33, 34,000, and, they said they were giving, some tickets to kids in school districts and stuff, which is awesome. Like, little kids are the loudest people all the time. So, hey, that could be a nice little home field advantage.
Perry asking about Helani. All I would say is that I would not be holding your breath for at least the next couple of weeks for George Helani, based on what I've heard and what we've seen. Obviously, I saw him walking off the field after the UCF game.
Yeah. And
he had pants on, but the way he was walking, it looked like there was some sort of brace on his knee underneath the pants. I think he was trying to hide it, but he was not walking normally, walking off the field. So I would guess he didn't look like a guy that was going to be playing this week, at least.
Yeah. Pick up Ashton Genty on your college fantasy leagues.
Let's see. If you get Breezy and Genty in space against an FCS team, we should have some big explosives this game. That would be nice to see. They've been lacking the explosive plays. And the thing for me is the downfield passing attack. I mean, you look at a lot of these, I think Jay had the stat over 20 yards. Taylor Green's one of 10 passing. But a lot of Taylor Green's passing yards are being racked up on screen plays, shovel passes. He hasn't really completed a ton of passes down the field.
I think he's maybe only completed 1 or 2 passes over 20 yards this entire season.
One.
And there was the one to
Steph Cobbs in the first game.
Steph Cobbs. Yep. Not McAllister?
No, it was the Steph Cobbs down the middle for like 30 yards.
Oh, that's Washington. Right. Yes. On the first drive of the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So Taylon's air yards were just not there. And I don't know what that is. If that's him missing on stuff, if that's the receivers not getting separation, if that's the scheme. It's not really easy to throw blame onto one party. And so,
And Bush Hamden did kind of say it's a little bit of everything.
And it's good. Yeah, I would think it is. And you're right. It's Taylor Green's yards are a lot due to Ashton Genty and Breeze Dubar. And that's okay. Like, that's all we've said the whole time is get those guys in space and let them work. So if that's how Taylor Green's getting his yards, I'm not going to be the guy complaining about that. That is just using your personnel correctly.
I think we had someone from either Jordan's family or his girlfriend's family enter the chat here because they said this is the best guest you've ever had. Enjoy listening to
No,
Kay. So,
I don't think so.
We got to find out who Dana is, but we appreciate the nice comments there. A couple people Tundra Strong talks about the standard. And this was kind of a topic that came up, I think, after the last game, Jordan. Even if they do roll off some 8 or 9 game winning streak here and win the Mountain West, is that good enough anymore to go 9-3 and win the Mountain West and go to the LA Bowl? Is that good enough for this team? And I think there's a lot of talk now about the standard and what should happen here. And again, we expect this team, I think, to still win a lot of games, but when you're 0-2, that's all you have to go off of. You're 0-2, and I know that's not a feeling, at least in 20 years or whatever, that people around here are used to.
It's weird to hear. I came into this as an outsider, where Boise State is this, power program trying to compete for New Year's Six bowls, and it's weird to kind of hear the change. And maybe it's not a change, but our goal is to win the Mountain West championship. It's like if that's your goal, great. Go beat Colorado State and Nevada and all that team. But it seems like the standard at Boise State is winning those games against UCF, making sure you stay in national prominence, that you are going to start competing for New Year's Six games.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. I think at the end of this year, the program and, Andy Avalos is going to kind of look in the mirror and say, is our goal just to compete with the Mountain West schools, or is our goal to really try and elevate this thing and do that? And I don't even know how you do that. It is really tough right now in the transfer portal era as a Mountain West team to try and garner talent, especially if you miss on a couple, recruits every year, which Boise State really has. You look at the end of the Harsin era, they missed on a lot of recruits. They were hitting it at a very, very small clip, and you're kind of starting to see it right now, that there is a lack of depth, and they're trying to fill it with some of these transfer portal guys, but very few of the transfer portal guys are playing, and it's very, so it's a tough thing right now. And I think the program is going to kind of have to go back and evaluate, hey, are we on the right track here with our, are we okay being a developmental program? Do we just need more time? Or do we maybe is there something we can change? There's not really a quick fix to that, but it is just weird. And, you've been here longer. Is it weird to hear kind of hey, we're okay with the Mountain West Championship. Like, has it always been like? Has it been like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people expected undefeated seasons every season, but I think they'd like to have. The main problem is they've lost a game or two early in the season, so we've never gotten to October where they're kind of like ranked and in the national conversation. They lose these games early, and there's no momentum for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I would say if they could get off to a nice start, get ranked, and kind of get in the national talk a little earlier, I think that's kind of what fans want, is to just be relevant. And when you're starting 0-1 every year, or 1-1 or 2-2, it's just hard to people kind of forget about you and don't care about you anymore, and then you're struggling just to win the Mountain West. And I think fans want to get to October and be 6-0 and be ranked 15th and see what happens.
So I went back yesterday to the game notes before the Boise State UTEP game, 2 years ago, Andy Avalos' second game.
Okay,
just to check how far things have fell. Those game notes, it said Boise State's been ranked every year for the past 18 years.
Yeah.
Boise State has the highest home winning percentage since 2000. That's down to number 3 now. Boise State is this in the all-time winning percentage. That's dropped. And it's just kind of weird to look and say, you keep trying to tout these things. Oh, Boise State doesn't lose at home. Boise State doesn't lose. All this stuff. And it's just like slowly but surely, it's just trickling down.
It is.
And that's a tough thing for a program to face, and an even tougher thing for fans to kind of accept.
A lot of good comments and questions. We'll get to them here in just a second. I do want to thank a couple more of our sponsors. Lithia Ford of Boise, their fall kickoff sales going on. Volleyball teams in action. You see Paige Barsh there. They're in action tomorrow night, I believe, and then Saturday night or Friday night. Tomorrow night and Friday night is part of a tournament they're hosting. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can view a full inventory of vehicles. Check them out. Lithia Ford Boise. Do what the Raines family did. Purchase an F-150 from them, and you'll be pleased you did, because we've been very happy with our purchase. ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union. Check them out as well. The best in mobile e-branch online banking. There's a branch pretty much on every corner. They're doing a ton for the local community in terms of the naming rights for some the local stadiums, and they're putting their scoreboards for the local high schools and putting their name on it. So support a local business that's obviously supporting the community here. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. The Blue and Orange store, I think it's a whiteout on Saturday, right? You're supposed to wear white.
Throwback white, whatever that means.
You're supposed, I think it's going to be the throwback uniforms, or at least the throwback decal on the helmet. And it's going to be interesting because they don't very often wear white at home, but I think they're going to have some combination of white uniforms on the blue, because they are asking fans to wear white for this one. So the blueandorange.store.com, if you need to get that white shirt for the game, they got you covered, and free shipping if you're not in the area on any order over $40. So make sure you check them out there at the Blue and Orange Store.com. And if you need a job, check out Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. They can help you get into the trucking industry. Coming off the pandemic, it's a booming industry right now. So if you're looking for a new job, new career, want a fresh start, think about transcomservice.com. Whether it's the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, the big rig in your you see on the screen, they can help you out every step of the way to get into the trucking industry. Again, our friends at Transportation Compliance Service. All right, let's see what we got here. We got some great comments rolling in. Let's go back. Somebody asked about why. Never been asked this before. What do you make of this? Why does the Boise State team sit on the far side and not on the skybox side? The entire game they were in the sun while UCF sat in the shade. Do they want the team by the student section? Any thoughts on why Boise State takes the far sideline?
It's good. It's the student section thing, and I guarantee it's something that coaches hate. And if they do the end zone renovation or whatever and put the students in one end, I bet that's something Andy Avalos goes and tells them about. I know Arizona State did the same thing where they had their home side staring into the sun every game, and it was just the dumbest thing on the planet. It didn't come up very often because they played at night so much, so it wasn't like something that was like a pressing concern. And then they did a stadium renovation, put their students in the end zone, and they went to the side that wasn't affected by the sun.
You would think you'd want the students on the opposing team side.
I think there's a rule you can't do that, which is why.
Okay.
Yeah, because you would have to. You can't just like move the team. I think there's a rule about it.
I'm going to look into that. I think Cody Gogler is actually going to come on the show tomorrow. There was some issues with long lines at the stadium.
Brutal
for some of the. We're going to talk to Cody about that. But not only to get into the stadium, but to get your popcorn, your hot dog, your beer,
to hang out in the thing. And I'm like, these people in the hot dog line weren't going to be available. Weren't going to be back at their seats till the fourth quarter. It was horrible.
Well, Cody's going to come on tomorrow and kind of talk about the process of what's going on there and how they're working through some things there. The short answer is the stadium was not designed for 36. The infrastructure of the stadium was not designed for a 36,000 seat stadium.
Maybe this is being too harsh, but it just doesn't seem like they're, maybe this is a hiring issue too, but I mean, there's no vendors going up and down.
My wife asked about that. Why don't they walk around and sell beer or water in the stands?
And and if they do say it's a hiring thing, put an ad on Craigslist, say, hey, who would like to make $750 by watching a Boise State game? You go sell beer up and down the stadium, or just have a big trough and someone say, hey, you're cash only. Like,
I'm going to ask Cody about that tomorrow, because my wife did ask that. She goes, at least for water or something. It'd be so easy to do that, you would think. Let's see. The Valley is ready for football this year. The crowd will be there. Just need to win this week. Green needs a big game. 9-3 is fine. Boise is not a power program anymore. Not sure I agree with that totally, but it feels like the glory days are over.
It might have been over 10 years ago.
Who's most to blame for the passing game woes? Talon seems off. The wide receivers are never open, or is it Hamden's fault?
I think all three.
Let's see. Derek says, maybe we should have focus on winning the Mountain West as a primary goal in 11, 12, and 13, since we didn't win it outright any of those years.
It's a good point.
It's not just the Peterson era that we won, and every coach has been expected to win has done so. Why does Andy get the pass?
I think it's I don't know if he does get the pass based on the comments of fans and stuff. And I mean, at some point too, you've also got to give time to a guy and let him have all his recruits in. So it's a tough situation. But yeah, I don't think Andy is getting a pass.
Sky Ship says, I ate a hot dog in the third quarter and stood in line at UW, and Genty ripped off a 60-yard touchdown. I don't eat hot dogs anymore. If you were having the hot dog when he ripped off the 60-yard run,
you want to keep eating hot dogs?
You should be having more often. Zach Covert, I was given a hot dog with no hot dog in it at halftime, just a bun. I should have known the outcome of the game at that point. That is hilarious. Almost joke. That's funny. Let's see. It's easier to get a Taylor Swift ticket than a hot dog. Andy's not going anywhere. They're trying, folks. Give them some credit, right? They're trying with the concessions and everything. They're not happy about where it's at.
No, but there's got to be some creativity or something.
Let's see what else we got coming in here. So you are expecting them to win on Saturday?
Yeah.
I am as well. Are you expecting it's going to be the blowout everybody wants?
I think it's going to be kind of somewhere in the middle, where maybe 30 points, 35 points. Where, some people are saying, hey, this is the positive step forward that we need. And others are saying that's not good enough. That's kind of my guess. And, I'm going to kind of wait and see before I judge of like, okay, is this fixable, or are these problems going to persist against Mountain West?
So opponents? It's not just winning. It is the not giving up 500 yards. It's downfield pat. Like, there's specific things within the game that would make you feel better about going on the road for the next 2 weeks.
I think they just got to pass the eye test.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. Our fans are going to leave the stadium saying, man, we looked good. Granted, and don't worry about the opponent. Did we look good? And that's going to be the
problem.
thing.
What are you really going to learn from this game when you're playing an FCS team?
But right now, you don't need to learn. You just need to build confidence. Yeah. Hey, can these things work against anyone?
No doubt. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho. Find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Make sure you download the Ridley's app to get up to 40% savings. You need business insurance? United Commercial Insurance can help you out. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. Check them out at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. You need a dentist? Check out Boise Dentistry Co. Our family's happy we made the switch. Dr. Miner and his staff. Fun, enjoyable experience for the whole family. And all the newest technology. Highly recommend you make the switch. BoiseDentistryCo.com. Our friend Matt Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. Check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. Every time I scroll on Instagram, I'm seeing another sold and another record set by Matt Bauscher. So BauscherRealEstate.com. And if you're heading down to Las Vegas, don't forget about our friends at Circa Sports. Jordan, Team BNN survived in the Survivor.
Against all odds.
Your Arizona Cardinals, and believe it or not, I might be looking to go against your Arizona Cardinals again in week 2.
It's not the worst idea.
We're trying to win the. I told everybody if we win the Circa Survivor, we'll refund everybody's entry fee or subscription fee this year. So how about that? We're gonna. Wow. I'm gonna
not just gonna retire.
Nah, maybe I might, but I'll still refund everybody their subscription fee if we can win this. But $8 million. It's actually $9.2 million on the line for Circa Survivor. If you're heading down to Las Vegas, check out our friends at Circa Resort and Casino. Awesome spot on Fremont Street. Go watch football on a Saturday or Sunday out at Stadium Swim. And yes, we went 2-3 though in the Circa Millions contest. We didn't do as well this week. We went 2-3 with our picks in week 1. So we're needing a bounce back week. If you got an NFL pick you love this week, let me know and we'll have to see about using it. But we did survive thanks to the Washington Commanders in the Survivor pool. And we're looking at, we're zeroing in on either the Denver Broncos at home against the Commanders or the New York Giants on the road against Arizona as our week 2 pick here for Survivor. So we'll see. But if you are looking to head to Las Vegas, make sure you stop and support our friends out at Circa Sports. All right, let's see if we got any final comments here before we get out of here. Let's see. Karen can retire. Yes, she definitely can. The rooftop view is on point. Yes, it is. We're here at the James. It's an awesome spot. Again, they open at 11 o'clock, so we'll see you at 11 o'clock. Come down, have lunch. Happy hour 3 to 5. We'll be here after the game on Saturday, so come hang out post-game, and we would love to hang out with you there. Most fans would be happy with a 30-point victory, but you never know. Lisa says, see you in Vegas. Yeah, we got some cool things we're going to be announcing for the Mountain West basketball tournament as well. Has the foundation of the program improved under Avalos? Serious question.
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
A year after the NCAA restricted scholarships, Peterson went 8-5. We never really recovered.
I've heard that a lot of people kind of saying that was a huge thing.
Heart and soul with the program. 23 years and counting. Amazing how people get mad whenever they see need to win and win big, Clint says. So, man, Boise put mid-level programs on the national stage. Conversation, need them back for all the Mountain West seems to be significant.
No, that's 100% right. This goes back, the last 10 years or whatever in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
USC was that program, and I think there were a lot of people trying to call for the head of everyone at USC for years and years, because the thing is, when USC's better, the Pac-12 was better. When USC's better, the entire West Coast region of football and interest was better. And so, yeah, it is a thing. And, I think that program had to deal with it too, and say, hey, what are our actual goals? And it took them a couple hires. It took them a decade to really figure out how to get back on course. And so you're right. Boise State is kind of the boat that lifts all tides, in this conference.
Well, interesting times in Bronco Nation, and Bronco Nation News has you covered every step of the way. What are we working on for the rest of the week here, Jordan?
Yeah,
we're going to our viewers here.
We're going to have a feature on Marco Notriani. Thank you to Mike Sanford on the Ball Talk show this
I'm
Monday
not even sure
night.
his coaches pronounce it correctly.
No, I Garrett, they have been saying Notarini for like years, and he was joking yesterday, like I'm not going to correct anyone, but I'm glad, you guys figured it out.
He actually, right before the show started, said something about it, and I said, I think it's Notarini. He goes, no, I coached you. So literally, he calls him on the phone when we're like 5 minutes from starting, and he's like, hey, man, like I'm embarrassed I have to ask this, but on the broadcast, they were saying Notarini, and he said, nope, it's no.
Yeah. So he was the big bright spot for the defense this week, and kind of a guy who was a little under the radar, I think, coming in behind, Zeke Noah and DJ Schramm and all those guys. And last year, maybe he would have played a little more, but tore his ACL against New Mexico, and we never really saw him. And this season, you're starting to see, hey, this is a guy who's going to be a factor on Boise State's defense. He's the perfect example of, if Boise State is going to kind of get back to the places they need, it's going to come from recruits like Notriani, who kind of come in, build up for a couple years, and then are high impact players, right?
So we'll have
quickly.
that
today.
All right.
And then
I heard yesterday too. So we'll see if we.
I said today, yesterday. Then a film study on North Dakota. Going to try and talk to some players and coaches over the next day or two, and then get that. And then something I've been working on for a while, coming on Thursday too. And then 5 thoughts on Friday.
Looking forward to it. Someone says BNN needs a good season. Yes, that when you run a business that is basically how the team is doing, certainly reflects that. But to this point, nobody has jumped off ship. I think they're close. A loss to North Dakota might be the final straw for some folks. But we'll see what happens Saturday. Interesting times for sure. Appreciate all you guys for your comments, for your nice words, and the interactions. We've really enjoyed it. And we'll see what happens Saturday. Looking forward to what should be a fun game. 10 a.m. I don't love the early time, but when you're done at 4 or 5 and you get your evening off, it's not the end of the world potentially. But
then go and watch every other football game. So
big Kansas
cool.
Nevada game on Saturday night.
I finally get to watch Fresno State. They're playing Arizona State this week. So
the 8:30 game in Reno. Rock Chalk Jayhawk playing Nevada. The spread is 25, I believe. So my Jayhawks trying to get to 3-0. I have the Circa Sports over 6.5 bet for KU. So I'm trying to. I need to win tonight to get it to make it 3-0. But
Lisa says, "How about an MJ story? Who is MJ?"
MJ story.
I don't know.
Let us know, Lisa, who you're talking about there. We're or maybe next time because we're getting out of here. But we're talking to coaches today.
Yes.
Which coaches? Who
is it? James Montgomery, the running backs coach. Demario Warren.
Yep.
And maybe Tim Keene. Did you?
That's right.
Him?
I think so. I think Tim Keene
cool.
is coming today. So we will get some interviews up from the coaches. And appreciate everybody for watching the show, for commenting again. Tell your friends if you're watching but not subscribed. It's free. It takes like 3 seconds right there in the bottom corner. Hit subscribe on YouTube. Help us get closer to 4,000. When we get to 4,000 YouTube subscribers, I have to write this guy a check. So let's get to 4,000. Tell your friends. Subscribe on YouTube. And I will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Mike Prater. Mike Prater tomorrow for our Thursday at 9 a.m. appearance. And we will talk to everybody later. Have a great rest of your day. Bronco Nation News Live from the James here in downtown Boise. We'll talk to you later. BroncoNationNews.com.